Welcome to podcast time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm Nick, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Rachel. How are you doing today, Rachel?
I'm doing great, Nick. I'm actually feeling very energized because I've been experimenting with some new daily routines lately. And that's exactly what we are talking about today. Simple daily routines that can truly change your life.
That is such a great topic. You know, when people hear the word routine, they often think of something boring or repetitive. They think of waking up, brushing their teeth, and going to work. But routines are much more than just a list of chores, right?
Exactly. For English learners, understanding the language of routines is also very helpful because these are the words we use every single day. We are talking about habits, things you do almost without thinking.
Right. And the most important part of the day for many successful people is the morning. Rachel, are you a morning person?
Honestly, I used to be a night owl. That's someone who likes to stay up late. But I realized that how I start my morning sets the tone for the entire day. If I wake up late and rush to find my keys, I feel stressed until dinner time.
I'm the same way. I started a no-phone rule for the first 30 minutes after I wake up. Instead of checking emails or social media immediately, I just sit and have a glass of water. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer.
That's a perfect example. Game changer is a great idiom, by the way. It means something that completely changes a situation for the better. By not checking your phone, you are choosing how to start your day, instead of letting other people's messages choose it for you.
Exactly. And for our listeners who are practicing English, a morning routine is a great time to squeeze in some study. You don't need an hour. Even 5 minutes of listening to a podcast, like this one, while you make coffee can make a huge difference over time.
I love that. It's about consistency. That's a big word, but it just means doing the same thing regularly. If you study for 5 minutes every day, it is much better than studying for 3 hours once a month.
So, if we look at a typical morning, we have waking up and then getting up. There's a small difference there, isn't there?
Yes, waking up is when your eyes open and you are no longer sleeping. Getting up is when you actually leave the bed. Some people wake up at 6 a.m. but don't get up until 6:30.
Guilty as charged. I definitely spend some time stretching first. Speaking of which, physical movement is another simple routine. It doesn't have to be a heavy workout at the gym. Just a quick walk or some stretching helps wake up the brain.
Definitely. It gets the blood flowing. So, we've talked about avoiding the phone, drinking water, and moving a little bit. These are small steps, but they build a foundation for a productive day. You know, Nick, once I'm out of bed and I've moved around a bit, I usually hit a wall. I start thinking about all the things I have to do, and I feel overwhelmed. Do you ever feel like your brain has too many tabs open at once?
All the time, that overwhelmed feeling, where you feel like you have too much work and not enough time, is exactly why I started the habit of writing a daily to-do list. But I don't just write a long list of 50 things. I use a specific method.
Oh, I've heard of this. Is it the top 3 method?
Exactly. Every morning, or even the night before, I write down just 3 main tasks that I want to accomplish. These are my priorities. If I finish those 3 things, I consider the day a success. Anything else I do is just a bonus.
That is a very smart way to handle it. For our listeners, a priority is the most important thing that needs your attention. When we prioritize, we decide which tasks are the most urgent. I think English learners can use this for their language goals too. Instead of saying, I need to learn English, which is a huge, scary goal, you can say, today, my priority is to learn 5 new phrasal verbs.
That's a perfect application. It makes the goal achievable. If a goal is achievable, it means you can actually do it. It's not an impossible dream. Rachel, when you write your lists, do you prefer using a digital app or an old-fashioned notebook?
I'm a bit old school. I love the feeling of physically crossing something off a paper list with a pen. There is something so satisfying about that movement. It feels like a little victory every time.
I agree. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. That's a great phrase for when you feel proud of what you have done. But I've noticed a mistake people often make. They put check emails as a priority.
Oh, that's a trap. Checking emails is usually reactive work. You are reacting to what other people want. A good routine should include proactive work, where you are taking the lead on your own projects.
That's a deep thought. So, if we look at our day like a puzzle, the to-do list is the map that shows us where the pieces go. Without it, we are just guessing. And it saves so much mental energy.
Mental energy is a limited resource, isn't it? We only have so much of it each day. If I spend 20 minutes wondering, what should I do now? I'm wasting that energy.
Exactly. By having a routine for planning, you save your brain power for the actual work. It's like an athlete warming up before a race. The warm-up isn't the race, but it makes the race much easier to run.
And speaking of being productive, I found that my environment, the space around me, really affects my routine. If my desk is a mess, my mind feels messy too.
I totally agree with you, Rachel. There is a saying that a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind. When I see piles of paper or empty coffee cups everywhere, I find it so much harder to focus on my English studies or my work projects.
It's so true. Clutter refers to a lot of objects in a state of untidiness. When we declutter, we remove the things we don't need. I've made it a daily routine to do a 5-minute reset every afternoon. I set a timer and just put things back where they belong.
5 minutes? That doesn't seem like much time at all, but I bet it makes a huge difference. It's like that concept of micro habits. You don't need to clean the whole house. You just need to clear your immediate workspace.
Exactly. And for our listeners, think about your digital workspace too. Is your computer desktop full of random files? Is your phone full of apps you never use? Cleaning those up is a routine that can lower your stress levels significantly.
That's a great point. I actually noticed that when my environment is organized, I'm more likely to stick to my other habits. To stick to something means to continue doing it even when it gets difficult. If my dictionary and notebook are right there, ready to go, I'm much more likely to study.
It removes the friction. Friction is the resistance that makes it hard to start a task. If you have to spend 10 minutes looking for your pen, you might lose the motivation to write in your journal at all.
You mentioned journaling. That's another daily routine that people talk about a lot. Do you actually do it?
I do, but I keep it simple. I use a gratitude journal. Every day, I write down 3 things I am grateful for. They can be big things, like a promotion at work, or tiny things, like a really good piece of toast.
Grateful is such a nice word. It means feeling or showing thanks. I've heard that practicing gratitude can actually change how your brain works. It trains you to look for the positive things instead of focusing on the negatives.
It really does. And for someone learning English, writing a gratitude journal is a fantastic way to practice reflective writing. You aren't just translating sentences, you are expressing your feelings. You might write, I am grateful for the sunny weather, or I am thankful that I understood a movie in English today.
I love that. It's a way to celebrate your small wins. We often wait for a huge success to feel happy, but life is mostly made of small moments. If you can appreciate those, you'll be much happier overall.
And it only takes 2 minutes. That's the beauty of these routines. They aren't meant to take up your whole day. They are meant to give you more energy for the rest of it.
Speaking of energy, we've talked a lot about the mind and the environment, but we haven't touched on what we put into our bodies yet. Nutrition and hydration are huge parts of a life-changing routine.
You're so right, Nick. We often treat our bodies like machines that just run forever, but we forget that machines need the right fuel. I used to be the kind of person who would drink 4 cups of coffee and forget to drink any water until dinner time.
Oh, I know that feeling. We call that a caffeine crash, when the energy from the coffee disappears and you suddenly feel exhausted. One of the simplest routines I've adopted is the 1-for-1 rule. For every cup of coffee or tea I have, I must drink 1 full glass of water.
That's a brilliant rule. Hydration, which is just a fancy way of saying drinking enough water, is so important for concentration. If you are dehydrated, your brain feels foggy. For English learners, brain fog makes it really hard to remember new vocabulary or follow a fast conversation.
It really does. And it's not just about water, it's about when and how we eat. I used to eat my lunch while working at my computer, typing with one hand and holding a sandwich with the other. I thought I was being efficient, but I was actually just burning myself out.
Burning out is a very common expression. It means becoming completely exhausted because you have been working too hard for too long. Taking a mindful lunch break is a game changer. Mindful means being fully present and aware of what you are doing.
Exactly. Even if it's just 15 minutes, stepping away from the screen to eat makes me feel more refreshed when I come back. It's a reset for the afternoon. And Rachel, have you noticed how food affects your mood?
Absolutely. If I eat a very heavy, sugary snack in the afternoon, I feel sleepy an hour later. I've started preparing brain snacks, things like walnuts, fruit, or yogurt. They give me sustained energy. That means the energy lasts for a long time instead of giving me a quick spike and then a drop.
Sustained is a great word for our B1 and B2 learners. It means kept up or maintained at a certain level. If you want a sustained study habit, you need sustained physical energy.
It's all connected, isn't it? Our physical health, our environment, and our mental habits. Another routine I've seen people use is meal prepping. That's when you prepare your meals for the week in advance, usually on a Sunday.
I love meal prepping. It removes the decision fatigue. That's when you get tired of making choices. By 6 p.m., I don't want to decide what to cook. If the meal is already there, I eat something healthy instead of ordering fast food.
It's all about making the healthy choice the easy choice. If you make your routine frictionless, as we mentioned before, you are much more likely to succeed.
And while we are on the topic of physical habits, we shouldn't forget about the importance of fresh air. Even a tiny nature break can change your perspective.
You mentioned fresh air, Nick, and that is exactly what I need around 3 p.m. Have you ever heard of the afternoon slump? It's that time of day when your energy levels naturally dip and you feel like you need a nap.
Oh, I know the afternoon slump very well. My eyes start to feel heavy, and I find myself staring at the same sentence in a book for 10 minutes without understanding a word. For a long time, I thought the answer was more caffeine, but I realized that movement is actually a much better pick-me-up.
A pick-me-up is something that gives you more energy or makes you feel better. And you're right, taking a quick walk outside, even if it's just around the block, can do wonders. Scientists say that looking at the horizon and seeing natural light helps reset our internal clocks.
It's amazing how much it helps. I call these movement snacks. You don't need to go to the gym for an hour to get the benefits. Just 5 minutes of walking or even some jumping jacks in your living room can wake up your nervous system.
I love that phrase, movement snacks. It makes exercise feel less like a chore. A chore is a routine task that is often boring or unpleasant, like doing the laundry. If we think of movement as a small treat for our bodies, it's much easier to do.
Exactly. And for our listeners, these walks are the perfect time to practice active listening. You can put on your headphones and listen to an English story or a news report. Because you are moving, your brain is actually more receptive to new information.
That's a sophisticated word. Receptive means willing or able to receive something. When our blood is pumping, we are more alert, and we can absorb the language better. It's like a sponge soaking up water.
I've also noticed that walking helps with problem solving. If I'm stuck on a difficult task, I stop trying to force it. I go for a walk, and often the answer just pops into my head.
That happens to me too. It's because when we walk, our subconscious mind keeps working on the problem in the background. It's a much more relaxed way of thinking.
So, we've covered the morning, the planning, the workspace, the food, and the afternoon movement. But a day is only as good as the sleep that follows it. I think many people struggle with their evening routine.
I used to be one of them. I would watch TV until I fell asleep on the couch, and I always woke up feeling tired. Creating a wind-down routine changed everything for me. To wind down means to gradually relax after a period of work or tension.
It's like an airplane landing. You can't just go from 500 miles per hour to zero instantly. You need to slow down first.
You're so right about the airplane analogy, Nick. If you try to force yourself to sleep while your brain is still racing with work thoughts, it's just not going to happen. You'll end up tossing and turning all night.
Tossing and turning. That's a classic English expression for moving around in bed because you can't sleep. To avoid that, I've started a digital sunset. Just like the sun goes down, I turn off my bright screens, my laptop, and my TV about an hour before I want to be asleep.
A digital sunset. I love that. The blue light from our phones actually tricks our brains into thinking it is still daytime, which prevents us from feeling sleepy. Instead of scrolling through social media, I've replaced that habit with reading a physical book.
Reading is a perfect evening habit. And for our listeners, this is the best time to read something in English that is low stress. Don't try to read a difficult technical manual or a complex news article. Pick a graded reader, a book written specifically for your level, or a story you already know in your native language.
That's a great tip. Reading for pleasure helps you soak up grammar and vocabulary without feeling like you are studying. It's a very relaxing way to end the day. Another thing I do as part of my wind down is to prepare for the next morning.
Oh, like picking out your clothes?
Exactly. I pick out my clothes and I pack my bag. It sounds like a small thing, but it reduces decision fatigue the next morning. It's a gift to my future self. When I wake up, I don't have to think. I can just start my positive morning routine.
That's such a kind way to look at it. You are being a friend to yourself. We've covered so much today, Rachel. We talked about no phone mornings, prioritizing tasks with a to-do list, decluttering our space, hydrating, taking movement snacks, and finally, having a digital sunset.
It might sound like a lot, but the key is to start small. You don't have to change everything at once. We call this habit stacking. You take a habit you already have, like brushing your teeth, and you stack a new habit on top of it, like doing 2 minutes of stretching right after.
Habit stacking makes it so much easier to remember. Before you know it, these small changes add up. To add up means to result in a large total or a significant effect. Over a month or a year, these tiny daily routines can completely transform your health and your English skills.
Well said, Nick. I think the most important thing is to be patient with yourself. If you miss a day, don't give up. Just start again the next morning. Every day is a fresh start.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for sharing your routines with us today, Rachel. And to all our listeners out there, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily routine. We hope these tips help you feel more productive and confident in your English journey.
It's been a pleasure. Keep practicing, keep moving, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye, everyone.
everyone.